Although I watch, I can no longer find place within his life. This causes me to bear a pain of my own, along with many of those at court. Why, even weeks have gone by without even a word from him. There was no time for family either. Only the cordial royal doldrums of the roles we now play. Turning to prayer lately, I've learned that I must be more patient with Father. Perhaps the Great One will reveal to me what must be done in this situation. I will wait upon him. Then the timing will be right for me to act. Due to my adequate amount of sleep on this night, I become drowsy while continuing to walk up the stairs. I actually have thoughts about stopping for a rest. No, I must go on. I push through my thoughts till out of my mind. But as I do, others come to take their place. What to do about the family situation? I hated what was becoming of things. My father continues to drain the life out of everyone, especially poor mother. Yet I watched him with my brother, how he held him as a child. Hadn't he held me when I was 2 or 3? Rock me in his arms, bounce me on his knee, speak softly to me with the love of his heart? Then there was the hunting trips, Edward's first ride upon a horse as with us all. It was his arrow that landed the deer that day. How we all laughed as it roasted. We were so proud, so joyously close, my father, brother. But where was I? It was so long ago. If it had not been for Edward, I would have been isolated as if in jail. He sensed the secret, but out of respect he never asked. Why all these thoughts? Why so sluggish on these stairs? Am I under a spell or a dream? I remember the conversation that Edward and I had, what we would look for in a bride. We would have fun telling of whom the Great One would bring into our lives. One time I caught 2 servants embraced in a kiss. I looked away, but evidently this thought stayed with me, dimming my senses within soul of mind. For when at a feast my eyes caught sight of a young maiden, a daughter of a nobleman, and her eyes were looking back at mine. We drew nearer and closer still, our lips drawn to each other like a moth to a flame. Suddenly she turned her head. You don't understand love the way I do. But I'm really not like this. I only copied from what I saw my servants doing. I like your honesty. But you should not practice what you do not understand. How I did enjoy her light. Whatever it is, then leaves me, as I hear the sound of shouts. Father's voice next clears my mind. I'm found more unmoved from my intent. My motion is steady and upward. On the ascension, my focus returns, this time with a sense of urgency. My footsteps do not seem to be quite quick enough. As lacking in sleep, I find my exhilaration quickly turn to fatigue. I round the turn and wipe the sweat from my brow. Their voices grow exceedingly louder and angry. Next, things get too quiet, as if calm before a storm. "Henry, you don't look so good. Have you been up all night drinking?" My father's impatient voice was that of strong wine talking. "I'm sick and tired of your meddlesome advice, which I, like a fool, always take. But no more. Because of you, we might be at war again. Now, where's my pretty golden goblet?" I hear him fill it, then a thud of an empty cask shoved to the floor. I next hear my mother's lose her patience. "My fault? Can't you see what your drinking is doing to us in our kingdom? What has happened to the man I married? You're not even fit to be ruler of yourself, let alone a kingdom anymore." There is a darkness growing in the atmosphere, and I quicken my pace, as thoughts tell me their argument is about to get out of control. I can't believe they're fighting like this, and the way Father has been behaving lately, anything is likely to happen. I have to put a stop to it, light my mind. My steps are heard echoing off the walls of the passageway. Then a rather strange thing happens. Although the air had been flowing against my face, all of a sudden I feel a wind pass from behind. The torches capture my attention as I watch them flicker on the breeze. I ponder how peculiar this is. Then immediately after, I hear my father's angry and unstable voice get violent. "You can't talk to me like that, you wrinkled wench. I know about those lines you hide beneath your makeup. How dare you?" I next hear her footsteps advance towards him, and the sound of something being lifted off the table between their thrones. "Give me my cup, wench." Rounding the turn, the picture becomes complete. I see my father charge towards my mother, but as soon as she puts down the goblet, he stops his advance. I let out a sigh of relief. Approaching, I go unnoticed. Then my hands go up as Father suddenly lets out a loud, insane laugh, which turns to a rage-filled snarl. "Take my cup, would ya? I'll teach ya." Fear grips my heart, and I freeze. Father stirs uneasily till quick and without warning. He strikes my mother across her face with the full force of his backhand. "No!" I cry out, watching helplessly as she falls over. Backwards from the dais, rolling down its steps. Finally she comes to a rest by my feet. My mother's body appears lifeless. I check to see that she still breathes. Then, as I realize my father's eyes lock with mine, I fill with anger, restrained only by the love I have for my God. "Father, how could you?" He looks away, taking a gulp from his golden goblet, then speaks plainly to me in a loud voice. "You'll say nothing of this to anyone, or you will be banished, Liam. Is that understood?" I raise my hands with clenched fists and collapse to my knees. My breaths are yet heavy. With the back of my fingers before my face, suddenly fear grips me. The seemingly great weight of his unruly authority in this situation drives my mind dim. I peer out over my knuckles, answering the stench of my father's breath in shock. Yes, yes, sire, I understand. Now go and inform the royal healer that our queen has stumbled and fallen upon this dais. At once, sire. I take leave, apprehensive to abandon my mother with this king, yet what choice do I have? I rise up to leave, but oddly enough, a part of me feels like it is being left behind. It causes me to feel awkward, like I am being pushed into the shadow of a broken image. More thoughts come to convince me how I'd get used to the changes around here, and that I was next in line to reign. How if I was to keep my head somehow I could make a difference in the future. After all, my turn will come to wear the crown. I'll be all right. These voices' thoughts manage to block what I am really feeling for the time being. So I lay it all to rest, not realizing the impact it shall have. Excuse me. For this is to be my burial. I'm to be subtly covered over with many winds of thought, lying spirits upon my mind, where buried now I'll be, till I be no more. Now, with darkness blinding my sight, a compulsion quickly drives me to find the way to our healer. Time seems to stand still on this short journey. Inside, an uneasiness floats about my heart. I am concerned for Mother. I do not wish her left in present danger. Speedily, she must be tended to, as there's no telling what this king is capable of. Relentless swarms, troubling thoughts run down my head to heart and tear at all emotion from inside. A chill within my fingers suggests I go numb as a swirl snaps them into a whirlwind which seems swimming about my soul. I next arrive at my family friend's chamber. Seldom is he moved from his peace. The healer picks up on my anxiety while looking on. He decides to test my spirit by slowly placing herbs into a pouch. I try to persuade him to come at once, yet he reminds, all is done in the greatness of timing. And author R.A. Feller, thank you for being here on the Calington Castle Show. My website is calingtoncastle.com if you want to learn more about us. And I'll see you next time.